MBA, if you decide that consulting is the way that you want to go, now is the time to start prepping for your case interview. So what is a case interview? A case interview is a question/business scenario that they're going to give you, and then you will go through a problem-solving process to come up with a recommendation for the client. The key to being good at case interviews is being a very structured thinker. So being able to take the problem that your interviewer is giving you and break it down into component pieces, and then come up with analyses that you will perform in order to assess whether your hypothesis is true or not, and then coming up with a recommendation. The hard part about case interviewing is the structuring and giving a structured answer. So even when you are being asked to come up with a random list of ideas or being asked a math question, keeping the structure in your answer is extremely important. So the first part of the case interview after you are given your prompt is when you need to start your problem-solving process through what is traditionally known as a problem-solving tree. You'll probably read about it in books such as Case in Point and Case Interview Secrets. Structuring and being structured and being a structured thinker doesn't stop there. So once you've gone through your tree and have started to form a hypothesis, every answer that you give afterwards needs to come from a similar way of being structured and breaking down the question, even in the math. So the way that that looks in the math is rather than launching immediately into the math, you take a second to pause, you lay out your formula, and then you explain it to your interviewer of how you're going to approach this problem. This does two things. Once, it shows how you would explain to a client how something was calculated. The second way that it helps is if you're going down the wrong path, your interviewer can then correct you. Maybe you're solving for the wrong thing, or you structured your formula incorrectly. Whatever the issue may be, your interviewer can then correct you, and then you didn't waste any time on math. That's just one example of how being a structured thinker helps you in the case interview. A good way to get good at case interview structure is to not just read the frameworks, but also look at several case interview prompts and start thinking about how you would go about solving the problem. And from there, just repeating over and over again until you can get to a place where you are a structured thinker. The other way to do it is in your everyday life. When someone asks you a question, start thinking about how you would answer it in a structured way rather than launching directly into the answer. These are just a couple of tips to get you started on your case interview journey.